India as a country has a complex identity that walks a tightrope between people's livelihood, conservation of natural resources, and development. At one level, you have a population that lives at par with any economy in the world. At the other end of the spectrum are the poorest amongst the poor, the forest-dwelling, tribal and indigenous communities who live at less than 10 rupees per day or 25 cents per day. And for these people, NTFP or non-timber forest produce is a vital source of income. NTFPs are viewed as key means not only to improve the livelihoods of the indigenous people, but also to conserve the remaining forest areas, which forms just about 24% of the total geographical area in India. NTFP laws related to rights and marketing traditionally have been exploitative in nature towards the forest-dwelling communities, with maximum benefits going to the traders. Many NGOs across the country have taken NTFP as a focus area and are working towards a better future for the indigenous communities. Today, it's in these areas that stories of hope and strength are emerging. Our journey began with Sauji, a honey hunter from the Mahua tribe. It's before sunrise, a good time to try and hear the sound of the hovering bees. We're in Maharashtra, the Bhima Shankar tribal belt spread along the western Ghats. The area is known for the giant squirrel and harbors many species of flora and fauna. Sauji has located a colony of Apis cerana bees. It's no ordinary skill. The hives are enclosed in deep tree cavities. One can hear the sound through the cavity. Their colonies in the wild are usually small, but produce really good quality honey, almost golden in color. This is a poor belt of the Western Ghats. For the people here, almost 1/3 of the annual income comes from NTFP collection. In this harsh environment, honey from the Apis cerana means a key source of income for the people. But for several years, they have been getting almost next to nothing for the honey collection.
आम्ही मध काढून आणल्यानंतर तिला पिळतो व्यवस्थित कोऱ्या फडक्यामध्ये. पिळल्यानंतर मग ते आपण दुकानात जर नेलं तर व्यापारी पायापाशी गेल्यानंतर व्यापारी काय म्हणणार, हे आम्ही 30 रुपयाने घेणार. आम्ही म्हणणार नाही बाबा 40 तरी घे, असा म्हणणारच आम्ही ना. ते म्हणणार नाही बाबा तुम्हाला 32 परवडले तर ठीक, नाही तर घेऊन जा तुमची. शेवटी घालणार भारी आम्हाला. तेलावर भर उबरी तेल, तुमची मध तितकंच तेल परवडलं. शेवटी आम्हाला परवडणार, आम्ही घालणार त्यांना असे.
Kailash Sawant belongs to the Maharashtra Arogya Mandal, a grassroots organization working in the area for over 2 decades. In recent times, their focus has intensified on NTFP as part of the Maharashtra NTFP Forum.
90 रुपये किलोने खरेदी करतो. त्यापैकी 85 रुपये प्रति किलोचे जे पैसे जे आहेत ते आपण त्या लाभार्थ्याला देतो आणि 5 रुपये जे आहेत ते आपण सोसायटीला शेअर म्हणून जमा करतो.
With their intervention, now many NTFP societies have been formed where the sale of the honey is controlled by the villagers themselves. The honey collectors get the honey to the center once a week. The society procures honey at 90 rupees per kg. 85 rupees are given to the collector and 5 rupees are put back into the society.
गेल्या वर्षी मत काढले संपूर्ण सांगायची 85 किलो मी मत काढली गेल्या वर्षी तर मला रोख 7,000 दिले 400 रुपये शेअरचं कापून ठेवले असे कायांचं 30 किलो झाले त्यांना ते बाकीचे पैसे भेटले त्यांचं शेअरचं कापून ठेवलं 5 रुपये किलो पाठमागं अशा पद्धतीने केल्यानंतर पण आम्ही दुसरीकडे सुद्धा विचारतो बाजार कसं आहे आपली जरी सोसायटी चालू असेल तरी विचारतो दुसऱ्या व्यापाऱ्यांना आम्हाला 2 रुपये जर वाढू आले शेवटी विचारणारच मग आले तो कुठं तरी विचारणारच आहे असे ना अशा पद्धतीनं करतो आम्ही.
A simple technique is used for honey filtration before it is bottled for marketing. This is only the second season, and the results are there to see. Last year, almost 900 kilograms of honey was collected at the center itself. While in some cases, the intervention can be made at the ground level, in general, most of the NTFPs are governed by laws not easily understood by the people.
A tribal entering the forest is governed by one legislation. Then he actually harvesting the produce from the tree is governed by a different legislation. That produce being brought out of the forest area and stored in the house for a number of days is again governed by a different legislation. Then the produce being taken to a trader and not TDCC is not only governed by a different legislation but is a violation of a legislation itself. And after that he getting money which will be definitely lesser than what he should otherwise get because such kind of a sale would be a illegal sale. And in all this complexity, the tribal at the end of the day does not know how many legislation he has obeyed or violated.
Our next stop was Vidarbha in eastern Maharashtra, home to some of the poorest tribes in India and living in a very tough, dry terrain. Mahua is not only a major NTFP for the people here, but is woven into their cultural fabric from birth to death. Mahua is one of the most useful trees in India and considered holy by many tribal communities. Oil extracted from the Mahua seeds is used for cooking and medicinal purposes. The Mahua flower is used for making liquor. And here is the catch. The state excise department has put a restriction where a tribal cannot keep more than 25 kilos of Mahua after September 30th. The shelf life of Mahua is good, and it is only after September that one can get a good price for the flower, as that's when the festivals begin, and that's the time when there is a demand. In a day, one person can collect up to 10 kilograms, which becomes 5 kilograms after drying. In the market, 1 kilogram sells for about 8 rupees. So in one season, from a tree, about 500 rupees or approximately $25 can be earned. To sell the Mahua, a villager has to go all the way to the weekly local market and sell at the Tribal Development Cooperative Corporation or TDCC, set up by the government to trade in NTFP. But mostly, at the end of a long journey, the Mahua collector finds the shop closed and has to return empty-handed. In this area for the last 4 years, not a single Mahua flower has been purchased by the state government.
आता हे बंद का बरं आता बंद काय हे आपल्याला माहित नाही साहेब. आता ते गव्हर्नमेंटचं हे आहे काम. आता त्यांनी आदेश दिले का नाही दिले महामंडळवाले.
Without the support of the state machinery, the Mahua collector has no idea of the selling and buying price. In protest, the village committee in the area got together and filed a police report against the government's dysfunctional system. To safeguard the interest of the tribal and make him more empowered to get fair price for the Mahua, Srujan, a grassroots NGO in the area, initiated the idea of a Mahua Bank.
A concept of Mahua Bank has been evolved in a sense that this is a bank like any other bank where we deposit our Mahua and take it whenever we need. And any other bank is not supposed to really bother about what a person does. On similar lines, we have tried to create Mahua banks where people would deposit their own Mahua flowers and take it back whenever they need, either sell it in the local market or prepare liquor out of it and sell it, whatever they want to do it. They being the owners of this produce, they have all the right to exercise.
The Mahua Bank, adopted by the self-help groups, now enables the collector to sell the Mahua directly within the village to the bank. And the self-help group can further sell the stock when the rates are high, siphoning back the profits to the villagers.
सृजन संस्थांनी खास मार्गदर्शन केलं तसं आणि त्यांनी आर्थिक मदत पण करायचं ठरवलं होतं की बचत गट जेवढं गुंतवेल त्याचं 50% रक्कम आम्ही देऊ असं त्यांनी पण सांगितलेलं होतं आणि त्यांनी तसे दिले पण पैसे आणि पैसे त्यांना 50% रक्कम मागितले आणि आता जेवढे आम्ही अर्ज करून मागितले होते त्यांच्याकडून तर अर्ज करून मागितलेले पैसे त्यांनी पूर्ण केलेत. आता आम्हाला अंदाज नव्हता मोहा खूप कमी पडते असं अंदाज होता त्याच्यासाठी आम्ही त्याच्यानुसार पैसे मागितले होते. आज मोह जास्तच होऊन राहिला तर सृजन संस्थेकडून जेवढे रक्कम द्यायचे ठरवले त्यांनी पूर्ण दिलेले आहेत आणि आता जे मोह येऊन राहिले ते आम्ही पुन्हा बचत गटाचे पैसे टाकून त्यांना आता न मागता त्यांची रक्कम झाली पूर्ण म्हणून आता बचत गटाचेच पैसे काढून पुन्हा आता पैसे आता मोह घेणं चालू आहे.
For this effort to have a larger impact, Srujan involved the forest department.
Now we are in a process where divisional forest officer is helping us or liaising with NGO, panchayat, collector and state excise to get a license for the panchayat so as to they could sell the Mahua flowers within the restrictions of this state excise act. If that happens, that would be a landmark thing that could happen in case of Mahua flowers.
Venkat belongs to the Silky Tribe, one of the many forest-dwelling communities living in Sirsi, Karnataka. Located on the northern part of the western Ghats of Karnataka, Sirsi has 80% of its total geographical area under forest cover. Venkat gets 40% of his income from NTFP collection. With such high dependence on the forest, sustainable harvesting of the NTFPs is something ingrained in him. Resin is an important NTFP for him. It is used as incense in many religious ceremonies all over India. Venkat follows a carefully worked out method of sustainable extraction of resin from the trees, where the scraping heals over time.
ಇದು ಮುಂಚಿಂದು ಇದು ಕೂಡು ಹೋಗಿದೆ ತೊಟ್ಟೆ ಅವನ 3 ವರ್ಷಕ್ಕೆ ಕೂಡಿದೆ ಕೂಡು ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ತೊಟ್ಟೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಕೂಡ್ತದೆ ಈ ರೀತಿ.
However, he is worried about the unscientific and unethical methods of collection deployed by the big contractors.
ಕಾಂಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಾಗ ಬಂದ್ಕೊಂಡು ಅವ್ರದ್ದೇ ಜನ ಬಂದ್ಕೊಂಡು ಕೊಡ್ಲಿ ತಗೊಂಡು ಒಳಗೆ ರೌಂಡ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸಂಗ್ರಹಣೆ ಆಗೋ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಇಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಇಟ್ಟು ಅದು ಧೂಪ ತೆಕ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ತಾರೆ ಅವರು ಹಿಂಗೆ ಹುಟ್ಟಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಕಿತ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ತಾರೆ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಇದೆ ಈ ರೀತಿ ಹುಳ ಅದ್ರದ್ದು ಒಳಗಿಂದು ಅಂದರೆ ಎಲ್ಗಿಂದು ಇದು ಪುಡಿ ಇದು ಕೊರೆದು ಅದು ಮರ ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಡ್ತದೆ. ರಾಶಿ ಇದೆ ಈ ರೀತಿ ಪುಡಿ ಇದು ಮರದ ಎಲ್ಗಿನ ಪುಡಿ ಒಳಗಿನ ತಿರುಳು ಹಂಸ ಅದು ಸಾಮಾನ್ಯ ಒಂದು 15-20 ವರ್ಷ ಹೋದ ಕೂಡಲೇ ಮರ ಔಟ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. ಸಮಸ್ಯೆ ಇದೆ ನಮಗೆ. ಸಮಸ್ಯೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಒಯ್ದು ಮಾಡಬಾರ್ದು, ಕಳ್ಳಂಟಿಕೆಲ್ಲ ನಾವು ಒಯ್ದು ಕೊಡೋದು. ಬ್ಲ್ಯಾಕ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಒಯ್ದು ಕೊಡೋದು ಅಂದರೆ ನಮಗೆ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಒಯ್ದು ಕೊಡುವಂಥ ಪರ್ಮಿಷನ್ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಅದೇ ನಾವು ಇದೇ ಧೂಪದಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು 100 ಗ್ರಾಮಿನ ಒಂದು ಟಿನ್ ತಗೊಳ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಅಂದರೂ 22-23 ರೂಪಾಯಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟು ನಾವು ತಗೊಳ್ಬೇಕು. ನಾವೀಗ 60 ರೂಪಾಯಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದು 100 ಗ್ರಾಮಿಗೆ 20-22 ರೂಪಾಯಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟು ತಗೊಳ್ಬೇಕು. ಆವಾಗ ಕೆಜಿಗೆ ಎಷ್ಟಾಯಿತು?
While for Venkat, it's a struggle to sell the NTFPs, for the trader, it's business as usual. A family like Venkat's earns about $750 per annum. For the trader, it's a different story.
ये हमारा समझो 1-1.5 करोड़ का बिजनेस हो जाता है एक साल में, सब प्रोडक्ट मिला के.
For many of the traders, NTFP just means money. There is little concern for the impact of over-harvesting on the forest. Many of the prime NTFP trees, like resin and cinnamon, are today under the threat of dying. Concerned about the over-extraction of NTFP by the contractors, Narasimha from Prakriti undertook a detailed study using remote sensing to understand the state of the forest here.
1.45 meters.
This involved extensive field work. The idea was to map the resources using state-of-the-art technology and then relate it to livelihood and protection of biodiversity. Based on their extensive research and work at the ground, Prakriti has now established a nursery to try and regenerate some of the severely affected NTFP species. More than 1,000 saplings of important species have already been nurtured here. From Karnataka, we travelled further to Mayurbhanj district of Orissa in eastern India. Apart from prime forest areas, it also has large stretches of sal tree plantations. Sal leaf is used for making plates and bowls that are used across the country for weddings and festivals. Sanyukta from Hathikoti village leaves every morning with her friends for sal leaf collection. The sal plantation is close to the village. As alternative source of cash income are scarce, for the people here, it's the money leaf.
তো এক বছরে কত আমদানি হয়ে যায় শাল পাতা দিয়ে?
ও যে করিম পারে এরকম 1000-1200 করে
মানে এক মাসে?
হ্যাঁ। বড় সাইজটা 105 টাকায় বিক্রি হয়, ছোট সাইজটা 95 টাকায় বিক্রি হয়।
তো বড় বান্ডেলে কত পাতা থাকে?
বড় বান্ডেলে 1000 থাকে।
Unique things about the sal plantations here is that it has been a people's initiative, a forest regenerated by the people themselves. Sal leaf forms the major NTFP in this region, and Gram Swaraj is working closely with the people here to see how they can value add to the whole chain. Today, more than 700,000 to 800,000 people are directly dependent on it, and another 200,000 people indirectly. Each member of the family earns about 25 to 30 rupees per day. From this area itself, almost 200 trucks are loaded for outside market every month. The turnover is more than $50 million in the entire district of Mayurbhanj. While in several parts of India, inroads are being made now, in some parts, years of insight and groundwork have created a firm platform for new ideas and important initiatives in NTFP management. Nilgiri's Biosphere Reserve, one of the prime biodiversity hotspots in India, is home to maximum number of endemic plants and animals. The forests here range from the high temperate forest of shola and grassland to the tropical evergreen. Kurumbas and Irulas are some of the main hunter-gatherer tribes here, amongst many others. Almost 9 months in the year, they are dependent on the forest for their livelihood. Back in 1994, Keystone began their work here, focusing on honey.
And when we're looking at honey mainly as the indicator of the environment and what happens to bees and what happens to these communities which collect honey, and whether it was beekeeping or through the wild honey collection, bees are almost like an indicator of how the environment is.
Over the years, with intense interaction and participation of the community, Keystone has managed to set up a concrete base for honey, from collection to marketing.
So then in the second phase, I would say we have taken up things like amla and resin and phoenix grass and some other 1 or 2 other things, the natural soaps, that is shikakai and puchakai.
Nelikai, commonly known as amla or the Indian gooseberry, is harvested primarily for medicinal purposes, pickles and preserves, cosmetics, dyes and inks, as well as for the tanning industry. Earlier, amla, like other forest produce, was totally auctioned to a contractor. He used to engage the villagers to collect NTFPs as wage-based activity. Since the formation of the Village Forest Committees or the VFC in 2002, there has been a significant change.
ஒரு 30 லட்சத்துக்கு 10 லட்சத்துக்கு அவங்க வந்து அந்த நஷ்டத்தை காட்டிட்டு வர்றாங்க ஒழிய அவங்க லாபத்தை வந்து மக்களுக்கு காட்டுறதில்ல. இப்போ வந்து மாற்றம் ஏற்பட்டது வந்து அது நேரடியாக நம்ம வந்து இந்த வனக்குழு அமைச்சது.
In the case of amla, if the fair price is 7 rupees per kilo, 3.5 rupees are paid as wages to the villager. 1 rupee is deducted for transport and the rest 2.5 rupees are credited into the VFC account. Through all the NTFP items, a VFC can save up to 500,000 rupees or $12,500 in a year.
அந்த பணத்தை வந்து அந்த ஊருக்கே ஒரு வசதியை நம்ம பயன்படுத்திக்கலாம். குடித்தண்ணீர் வசதி, சில ரோடு வசதி, இல்லை சில ஏதாவது விவசாயிக்கு சம்பந்தப்பட்ட விவசாயி வசதி, இந்த மாதிரி நம்ம அதை பணத்தை எடுத்து நம்ம செலவு பண்ணலாம்.
This is the Bangla Padai village. Most of the people here were working as estate laborers.
ஆனா இந்த கீஸ்டோன் வந்ததுக்கு அப்புறம் கூலி வந்துட்டு 60 ரூபாய்க்கு கொடுப்பாங்க. ஆனா அதுக்கு அப்புறம் தான் இந்த நெல்லிக்காய், அப்புறம் காபி, அப்புறம் பஞ்சு, சில்க் காட்டன் பஞ்சு, தென்னை, சாமை எல்லாம் பர்சேஸ் செஞ்சு இது வேலை செய்யறதுக்கு ஆரம்பிச்சோம். இந்த வேலை என்னன்னா ஃபர்ஸ்ட்ல வந்துட்டு கொஞ்சம் கஷ்டமாக தான் இருந்துச்சு. ஏன்னா ஃபஸ்ட்டில் வந்துட்டு வாடகைக்கு வீடு எடுத்து செஞ்சுட்டு இருந்தோம்.
If we see in the Nilgiris context, a lot of the forest areas that are left are areas where these people are, and because they are living close to these forest areas, those areas have survived. And if they have a stake in that, and if they know the importance, the value of that, but if you add this, then it makes a very strong case for them.
அப்படின்னு நாங்கள் கீஸ்டோனை கேட்கும்போது சரி கட்டி கொடுத்துருவோம் அப்படின்னு இந்த வில்லேஜ் கட்டி கொடுத்துட்டாங்க.
Now these kind of centers have sprouted in other areas.
இங்கே லோக்கலே எடுத்து இங்கே இருக்கிற மக்களுக்கு ஒரு வேலைவாய்ப்பு கொடுக்கறதுக்காக நம்ம செய்யணும் அப்படிங்கிறதுக்காக நம்ம செஞ்சு இங்கே இந்த ட்ரையிங் இதெல்லாமே கொஞ்சம் அட்வான்ஸாக நம்ம எல்லா ஏரியாவை விட அது கொஞ்சம் அட்வான்ஸாக செஞ்சோம். அதனால் கொஞ்சம் இவங்களுக்கு ஒரு போன வருஷத்தில் ஒரு 10,000 ரூபா வரைக்கும் வேஜ் கொடுக்க முடியும். அதுக்கப்புறம் அந்த காய் எடுத்த வேஜில் ஒரு 10,000 இருக்கும்.
For Amla, to increase the productivity, a press cutter was introduced by Keystone.
காய் எடுத்து வைக்கணும், பைப் வச்சு அடிக்கணும், அப்புறம் சீடை ரிமூவ் பண்ணணும், மறுபடியும் சுற்றி எடுத்து அடிக்கணும். இந்த வேலையே இல்லை. இந்த கையில் எடுத்து காய வைக்கலாம், இந்த கையில் ப்ரெஸ் பண்ணலாம், இந்த காய் எடுத்து வைக்கலாம், ப்ரெஸ் பண்ணலாம்.
Then of course the issue comes of marketing, and one way is always that you feed into the normal market, but it's for us we didn't go on that line. From the very beginning we have had a marketing intervention.
Today the Green Shop has become a connecting point not only for products from this area but also from other NGOs and communities working in different parts of the country. Catering to an open market, it remains grounded in the community.
I think it's very important that the community remains a part of this whole process, because it's very easy that when you build an enterprise, you are looking for professionalism or a lot of market driven things you are looking for, and it's very easy that you take it away from the community, try and build up a system which is much more efficient and things like that. But if the community does not have a stake or does not understand the process that's going on, very soon if that link is lost, then the uniqueness of your product will be lost, and you will not have a story to share with the customers. It will be like any other product available.
My favorite product is something to do with the pottery here and the lovely pure cotton clothes, and I love the pickles. I love almost everything about this place. I love this place.
In India today, it's a tough task to forge the right path for a sustainable future. With almost 1/4 of the population dependent on NTFPs, sensitive and fair NTFP management across the vertical, from the government to traders to the communities on the ground, will be one of the most essential tools towards this direction. The effort of the grassroots NGOs are already making a significant difference to the communities in these remote pockets of the country. And as a collective, these widespread communities are becoming a voice from the forest.